Good morning, folks. Another day. All right. Well, I wonder what we're gonna draw today. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's see. Well, I don't know. Well, somebody with a big nose. We can see that right now. Hmm. He's got some bushy eyebrows there. Hmm. Interesting. You know, uh, I always talk about things that I learn. Well, I don't always talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it now. I learned something new yesterday. I was working on a children's book at my church, and one of the folks there helped me with something that I'm sure for a lot of young folks would be really an easy thing. But I was working in Procreate, and I'd always had a little bit of a problem understanding how to do the color picking. Where if you're um, let's say you got a palette and you're drawing on that palette, right? And you want to pick a color that you've already put down, and and so the way you would do that is there's a little function on the screen that was pointed out to me. Thank you, Maddie. You know who you are. She showed me that. Maddie knows who she is, and in this little function, you hit a button there, and what it does is it pulls up a little image that's like a ring across your picture, and that allows you to pick any color that's on your canvas. And once you pick that color, then now you can replicate it if you're reusing it for something. And I told her, I said, that was just like a revelation to me. I mean, a lot of you are probably hearing me say this. Well, of course, yeah. For you, young people who know how to use a computer, all of us old birds who don't know anything about that kind of stuff. For us, that's like for me, anything like that is a revelation. So, I think I brought this up because I wanted you to know that just because we're old artists and we do stuff doesn't mean we know everything, and especially about the new stuff. So we all need each other. I guess that maybe that would be a good way to look at it, is that we all need each other. So I guess the thing that the beauty of that is realizing that you can learn, so anybody can learn something from anyone else, and don't be ever feel like that just because you have a certain amount of age and experience in life that somehow that means that you can't learn anything from somebody. I've never felt that way anyway. I'm always happy to somebody to teach me something that I don't know. So I don't have, my ego is not so fragile that I can't learn. I mean, yeah. Anyways, thank you, Maddie, for helping me with that. That was very helpful, and it is now going to make my life a lot easier on a lot of other things that I'm going to be doing. So thank you very much. That was one of the kindest things, and I know for you it would have been it was probably a very little thing, and you probably wouldn't think too much of it, or not a big deal to you. But for me, it was a revelation. So thank you. All right, well, so it looks like we got an old guy here. I was thinking he was going to be Dumbledore at first, or a wizard type character, and then I just started adding things like the hat, and you know, I still don't know who he's supposed to be, but it's kind of fun drawing. I like using um, the paint behind function here in Storyboard Pro, where it paints underneath the line, so I can just shade on on top, and the color goes underneath the line that's on the top. So I really like that. That's a nice function. And I love, like I said, I really love digital art, making digital art, because it's just so much easier to create something this way. Because it's because it's just easy. That's it. And it makes it. I look forward to being able to draw something out of my head, because I know that it's not going to take me a long time to create something that's going to look nice, that I'm going to like. So that right there is just an attraction to it, just in and of itself. Because as I know, I've been saying for the last several sessions here, that in the day that I came up as a young artist, that the way things were with us was that we had the way that we worked on things was, there was a lot of effort involved in creating art. And so I really enjoy what we can do now, because now you can just do things so easily. It's not, there's so many things that make the process easier. There's so many things that you can do now that make the whole, um, everything you do just so much easier. There's so many little things and conventions that just, it just makes everything easy, nice, and also that it's inspiring too. That's another thing to take into account, is the inspiration that you get because of the things you can do. Like with this character, like the fact that I was able to just move this guy over now, and then let's say I can put another character over here. Um, the undo thing, where you can get rid of something. You know, I love all of these little functions. Or even something as simple as moving the image up closer so that you can see it better, so that you can draw better. I mean, even some little thing like that it just puts my canvas bigger so that I can see better, right? And sometimes something as simple as that, making the canvas bigger, can make all the difference in the world in terms of making a drawing. Because then, I can focus on what it is I do that's easy for me, which would be, making the drawing, or the kind of drawing that I want to make. And, you know, it's like then I can really focus my energy where I want to focus it. So instead of wasting all my time trying to figure out how am I going to get the image the right size, and can I move this over here, move this over there. And it's like I've got all these little things that are built into the way, um, the way I can move something around or fix it or change it. That just makes the whole process, um, easier. And making the process easier then takes you away from, um, all the business of trying to, make and fix, and and anticipate changes that you're going to have to make later. It's like you take all of that busy work away, and it just that doesn't sap your energy, and it doesn't take away from, um, what you're wanting to actually do as far as creating something. You can put your energy into the creation, and not into the processes of like, how am I going to blow this head up, and how am I going to move this this over here or that over there. You're not having to think about that stuff because the program will do it for you. Or it'll make it so easy for you to do that it's not a problem. That's my daughter in the background, if you're wondering what that noise is. It's Nina. She's special needs, sweetie, and she makes noises. I don't know why she makes those kinds of noises, but, well, there you go. What are you going to do, right? You love them because they belong to you. So, anyways, let's see. All right, let's color in the eye here. Maybe give her a little bit color in the mouth. Let's see. I guess we could just drop some color in there. That's kind of cool. Maybe on the hat. Oh, you know what? Let's take the lines out of the hat here. There we go. Yeah. Let's see. There we go. Okay, then let's see. Guess we'll use the darker one here for the hat. Yeah, that works pretty good. I guess it matches his. So we go back down. So maybe that's like Grandpa or something to her. I don't know. Let's see. So we'll get a line in here. Let's bring that down. So let's see. So they're going somewhere. Let's see here. Don't know where they're going. She's with her grandpa. Maybe that's Grandpa. I don't know. She's got her little scarf on. He's got his scarf on. And they're going someplace. Grandpa doesn't look too happy though, does he? Something's wrong. Okay, so I think maybe I'll give her a lighter color on her clothes. Like that. Maybe don't exactly mirror. Yeah, maybe go the other way with her. So her coat would be a lighter gray color, and his would be the darker gray color. Yeah, that. Let me fill this in. Ding. That. Let's see. Oh, well, I know why that didn't fill in. It's because it's not filled in down there. Let's see. So then, all right. Let's see. Maybe okay. Well, let's see. We'll go bigger here. Bring her up. I think we got the same color. Whoops. Bring that down. There we go. This is still working behind here. There we go. Let's see. All the undo stuff, man. I tell you, that undo is another one that's just such a nice little thing to have. So now, like with her, I think maybe I'll give her her scarf will be darker, kind of the opposite of Grandpa. Yeah, Grandpa's got the lighter one, and she's got the darker one. Yeah. And maybe that carries over onto the to the gloves as well. Maybe not so dark. maybe just a little bit lighter than, not as light as the coat that she's wearing, but darker than the, but lighter than the scarf. Yeah, lighter than the scarf, but yeah. Because, with the kids, you kind of want everything to be happier, I think. Yeah, that's kind of fun. Let's see, what can we do here? What else can we do? Um, hmm. Well, hmm. I have an idea. Let's see, maybe. Uh, hmm, Interesting. Well, let's see. I had a thought here about the background. I was thinking, like, maybe. Okay. Maybe, like, with the background, I could go with, say, a gray here. And I'll put a field behind it, which I paint in now. Of course, see, they're all now. I got to make sure I bring their color back. So we'll go to white and go into them, and then we'll bring the white out of their faces. So we'll put that white behind their heads. Yeah. So as to bring the white of the paper back to them. Yeah. So that we get that balance that we had earlier. Because I don't want to lose the, let's see, bring that down a little bit. Yeah. So I want to keep the, yeah, just to keep the colors that are on their faces what they were. So okay, so here's what I had in mind here was, let's see, maybe like an off-white. So I'm gonna go to like an airbrushy. Let's see if I can find, yeah, like this. So let's see if this is, so like this would be like a cloud effect here. Let's see how big I can make this and put it behind. Oh, oops. Put it on the wrong layer. Okay, it should be in the background. There we go. Yeah, so that it's just automatically behind. And that's another thing too, is that it's this kind of stuff where you are able to um, do things like that. I mean, some of the processes that I've found about digital art that just blows me away is that the very fact that you can go this far, this fast, and do so much. Um, I don't know. I just find that to be so fascinating. It's so easy, to make an illustration. Good coffee. Yeah. I guess I probably might not have wanted to have their faces be quite so pale, but since everything is black and white and shades of gray, that's kind of. I mean, obviously their skin tones wouldn't be like, well, they would be. Yeah, they would be skin tones. So yeah. Oh, you know what I can do on? Let's see. Let's see here. Go back to this. I could still put a shadow, say like on her, underneath her. Oh, let's see. Hold up. Oh, it's underneath. That's right. Oh, I can't do that, can I? No, that's right. Oops, I made the mistake. Yes, and I didn't put the shading. I put the shading. I shaded her face. That's right. So I can't do that because I can't put the. I can put a shade or shadow on top, but I can't shadow under her nose or hat like I did with under his eyebrows or anything because I should have done that before I put the white on. Oh well. All right, join for today. So I'll stop here. Another beautiful day, and more drawing. As you can see, you know, the fun drawing is something that really I don't want you to. Um, it's just good to draw. Okay, draw. And you see all these drawings that you when you see me draw now. I mean, I'm like I said, I don't know when I say I don't know what I'm going to draw. That's exactly true. I don't have anything around me here that's influencing me at this point to what I've just drawn. I just did it out of my head. And sometimes, I mean, if I am drawing from something, I'll probably tell you if I am. But I think most of the ones that I've done so far have just been purely out of my head. I like to dig around in my mind and just find things. Or sometimes, like I said, I'll start to draw, and then as I'm drawing, it starts to occur to me, you know, what the next thing is, and so on. Another good practice that I would share with you is you might get up, maybe get your warm up on your drawing by doing some life drawing. For those of you who've done life drawing before, obviously, if you've never done it, um, you know, it might be a little tricky, but you know, you can learn. But what I do is I think I mentioned that there's a YouTube channel called New Masters Academy, and it's a lot of teachers who teach life drawing and anatomy and all that sort of wonderful stuff. But one of the things that they have on the YouTube channel is they will give you, you know, basically online models. And what they do is they take pictures of models and they post them, and then you can draw from them. And then they light them really nicely. So, you know, even though you can't necessarily have a nude model in your apartment or your home or anything, this way you can have it just like that, and you can draw from it. So it's just a good thing, and they start out usually with 1 minute poses, and it goes 1 minute, 2 minute, and 5 minute, and then longer, maybe a 10 minute pose. Um, I get up in the morning a lot of times kind of early, and one of the first things I might do is do some life drawing in my sketchbook, and you know, just it loosens you up, you know, kind of gets you sort of flexible and gets you going. Um, you know, start out with some quick poses, and then you know later, then it makes it for me, it's helpful to me. You know, you have to find what works for you. You know, whatever works for you. Okay, have a great day. Keep well, keep safe, and remember, Jesus is Lord.